Magic fans, I'm Beef, welcome back to another standard gameplay video. So I was thinking the other day, I played Lifelink in Historic and updated it for Modern Horizon 3, but I never actually played Lifelink in Standard. So this is a standard Lifegain deck. It is not rotation proof. We do have Lunark Veteran, Voice of the Blessed, and one copy of Extraction Specialist, which rotate at the end of the month. However, there's a new card coming in Bloomburrow that acts quite similar to Voice of the Blessed. I think it is a 2 mana, 2 white mana creature. Whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And I think it has, if you gain life this turn, it gets flying vigilance. And it might have something else on there as well. So we do have a replacement of Voice of the Blessed, but I don't think we have another like-for-like replacement for Lunark Veteran. So we'll definitely tinker with the deck when rotation happens. So let's quickly go through it. So we have 4 copies of Case of the Uneaten Feast and Lunark Veteran. These you gain a life whenever another creature ETBs under your control. Case of the Uneaten Feast, if you gain 5 or more life in your turn, you can then, to solve the case, you can then sacrifice it. Creature card in graveyard gain, you may cast this card from the graveyard until end of turn. Gaining 5 life is not the easiest. You know, if you have 2 of these down and a Lunark Veteran and play a couple of creatures, sure, you're going to get it. But otherwise, we are mostly gaining 1 or 2 a turn, not 5. But it's nice to have if you do have creatures in your graveyard. A Lunark Veteran, if it dies, you can disturb it for 1 and a white to come back as Luminous Phantom, which means whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, you gain a life. 2 copies of Cut Down for removal. We've also got 4 copies of Go for the Throat. It's Voice of the Blessed, 2 white mana for 2/2. When you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. If it has 4 more counters, it has Flying Vigilance. If it has 10 or more counters, it has Indestructible. Very, very powerful. Deep Cavern back, get into the hand, exile a non-land card until it leaves the battlefield, and it has Flying and Lifelink, so obviously you can gain life from it as well to trigger your Voice of the Blessed. 4 copies of Amalia, 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever you gain life, it explores, then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20. That's not going to happen. To explore, you reveal top card of your library. If that's a land, put it into your hand, so a great way to draw cards. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then put the card back into or on top or into your graveyard. It does have ward pay 3 life, but that just doesn't matter. Ward pay 3 life is basically non-existent. You need this card early to gain life, and if they're at 20 life, they're not going to worry about paying 3. If you draw it late, then it's not going to be in a position for it really to do much damage. At which point they just don't need to remove it. So the ward is pointless, and I don't think it's ever stopped someone removing it, at least in any of the games I play. Elas, il-Kor, Sadistic Pilgrim, again 2 mana, 2/2, Death Touch. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever another creature you control dies, its opponent loses 1 life. It's another life gain enabler. Then we have 1 copy of Extraction Specialist, which is rotating out, but it's a 3 mana, 3/2 lifelink. When it ETBs, return target creature card from the mana value 2 or less from graveyard to the battlefield. That creature can't attack or block as long as you control Extraction Specialist. So if they take out Voice of the Blessed or Amalia or Lunark Veteran or whatever, we can get it back. Yes, it cannot attack or block, but that does mean the Extraction Specialist is a good attacker because, one, it's got lifelink, so trigger all your life gain payoffs, but also if they kill it, you're going to, if you've got back a Voice of the Blessed, you can now attack or block with the Voice of the Blessed. 1 copy of Resplendent Angel, 3 mana, 3/3 flying. Beginning with each end step, if you gain 5 more life, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance, and you can pay 6 to give it +2/+2 and lifelink. So it can trigger itself, but you do need 6 mana, which is not always possible. Then 4 copies of Gumdrop Poisoner. It has Adventure Side, instant, Tempt Retreat, pay 1 black, create a food token. Then it is a 3 mana, 3/2 of lifelink. And when it ECBs up to 1 target creature gets -X/-X, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. This is, I say, mostly one of our better removal spells. With our life gain enablers, this can be -4/-4 or -5/-5. So it can take us something like a Sheoldred or another powerful creature. And because it creates that treasure token, that food token, if you have 5 mana, you can crack the food, gain 3, get this down. You've probably got an Uneaten Feast and or a Lunark Veteran, gain another 1 or 2, and suddenly you're getting something -5/-5. 2 copies of Preacher of the Schism, a 3 mana, 2/4 of Death Touch. When it attacks the player with most life or tied for most life, you create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. And if it attacks while you have the most life or are tied for most life, you draw a card and lose 1 life. So if you have the same amount of life, you'll create a 1/1 white creature, a vampire creature token, and you will draw a card and lose 1 life. So pretty powerful. Although in all the gameplay, I never got an attack with it. The meta standard at the moment, at least in the play queue, is just all removal, which is why this deck actually struggles. Mana base, pretty standard, some plains and swamps. Caves of Koilos, Concealed Courtyard, comes down tap. Then Restless Fortress for a creature land that does gain you life as well. So a great way to trigger all your payoffs. And because it triggers on attack, you'll get that. Say if you attack with a Voice of the Blessed and a Restless Fortress, you'll get that life gain trigger, which will buff the Voice of the Blessed before it does damage. And then 2 copies of Shadowy Backstreet just to help surveil and get through our deck and see what's on top. That's the deck. It did struggle quite a bit in standard, I will say that now, but I hope you all enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my gameplay. We have a case, we have Amalia, we have our 1 Resplendent Angel. So it's an okay hand, I think. We will play out our Resplendent Angel. They have something. So they're up against the control deck. Don't need a 3rd Amalia. And then we can make the treasure at the end of their turn. Raffine's going to be tough to deal with. If we drew some of our other removal spells, that would help. Do they have no more liars? It feels like they do. And now Voice of the Blessed can block Raffine. That's not the end of the world. No stick either. Yes. We would get in for 6. We might be able to get in for more depending on if Explore hit properly. So Lunart Veteran into Voice of the Blessed. We'd have Cut Down and then Gumdrop Poisoner. So a pretty good curve. Do we play out the case? No, I think we start growing our voice. I don't believe there's a one-mana counterspell in Standard. We'll get in for 1. There was a stick. They had something. Well, let's see if this resolves. Fair enough. Cut down's not looking great. Oh, maybe it's looking better than I thought. And we'll create a food token. Hopefully hit more creatures. If, you know, if not, we can just drop. They discarded 2, including the basic land. They didn't need to do that. Can swing in. Yeah, first discovery is discard 2 unless you discard a basic land. So they discarded 2, including the basic land, which they didn't need to do. And Arena's pretty good at saying that, so don't know why they did that. Next turn we can Deep Cavern Bat, get into their hand, see what they're playing with. Well, that's problematic, to say the least. But Voice of the Blessed can get over them. You know what, I messed up. I could have had lethal there. Never mind. Yes. Well, they saw the writing on the wall. But I could have had lethal that turn by playing the bat. I would have gained 2 more life, put 2 more counters on the voice, and got him for 9. But luckily he wasn't punished. We don't have a turn 1 play, which is annoying, but Elas il-Kor into Voice of the Blessed, although we do need another white source. Hopefully we can get there. We can create a food token, or we can play our case. I'm against an enchantment deck, so probably not much removal. Could play the Gumdrop Specialist Poisoner to take out the Naturalist. Well, that's going to make it harder to take out my Naturalist. So I think I've just got to play Amalia. Okay, with another veteran. And we can take out a Weaver of Harmony with a Poisoner, assuming we don't have another one. Well, we do have another Amalia, if that's what they take. Oh no, they take... They take the Elas il-Kor. So let's play... this... Well, they're only getting 1 life now, won't it? We need... Yeah, okay. Do they have another borrow time? They do. What do they target? Sure, we'll get another veteran. We'll get into their hand and see what they've got. We'll take the Hallowed Haunt in. Well, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Well, we'll play out the Lunark veteran. You know, let's see if we can find a land. Obviously, they're going to be able to buff something. I will block with the poisoner. I will take 8. Sure. Let's take out the naturalist. Voice of the Blessed now is flying and vigilance, and Amalia is a 12/12. And next turn we can get down Deep Cavern Bat and the Preacher. Yeah, they're going to Besage you. Means we shuffle away the Bat. But let's see what we'll draw. Don't need another Plains. But we drew that anyway. What do they go for? Voice. Oh, of course. They can go both. Well, that's probably game over then. Probably should have taken out the Weavers when we had the chance with gumdrops. Don't know what he's opting for. Would quite like to draw something playable, please. Ooh. 2 tap lands and we're on the draw. I suppose we can surveil and in a bid to find more lands. Sure. Holy hell. I imagine this gets removed straight away. Oh, there's no stick. Or we can go for the throat that. I want to see what's in their hand. Next turn we can kill braids. Or not. This is where they find Phyrexian Arena. Might end up killing them. We have got lethal in the air. Especially with Restless Fortress attacking. Sure, I don't need it anymore. They do have 1 black, might be a cut down. But it doesn't feel like it. There we go. So turn 1, Lunarch Veteran. Turn 2, hope we hit a untapped land. Well, that is not untapped land. But hopefully this could help us find it. Don't need another Preacher. sure. Cut down. The ward on Amalia is pointless. I'm not that fussed about the life loss. Let's play out Preacher. And then we'll create a food token. Not much we can do. But at least with another... So I think that may have been a mistake for them. The Archfiend is going to be tough to get through. Guess I will attack. I wouldn't be surprised to see them chump. I want to untap land so we can crack the food and play the Poisoner to take out Sheoldred. They must have something. Well, that is not an untapped land. Yeah, I think we're pretty much dead then. Was not expecting Black Sun's Twilight. We've got a pretty decent curve, and Extraction Specialist can get back one of Amalia or Voice of the Best if it gets killed. Obviously won't be able to attack or block, so but he can still grow. Turn 1, play the Courtyard, play the Feast. We'll play out the Voice. Next turn we can play Amalia and hold up the cut down. Well, the cut down can't take care of Fortune. It's a decent draw. Swing in with the Voice. So a bit of a blowout for them. And next turn we can play Elas, il-Kor and their Deep Cavern Bat. Get into their hand, gain some more life. Grow the Voice. I will sacrifice Amalia.
One of your friends has to leave.
I will discard the Extraction Specialist. Don't think it really matters. So we'd have attacked in with the Voice, wouldn't have taken out Liliana at that point because we had no cards in our hand. So if they wanted to discard, cause a discard, it would be more damaging for them than us. And then we could have taken out Liliana with the Elas or the Bat. So yeah, a good result. Hello Magic fans, and welcome back to the wrap up. So we played 11 games with Stoke with only a 45% win rate, 6% on the play and 33% on the draw. And for once, on the play and draw numbers are pretty similar. So not a particularly powerful deck, and it's odd because when I play this in Historic, Historic version, it's a lot more powerful format. I had like a 9% win rate, and while we have access to more powerful cards like Soul Warden, the concept is still the same of get down Lunarch Aspirant, get down Soul Warden, and play out Voice of the Blessed and Trelasara, as opposed to Voice of the Blessed and Amalia. But I think one of the problems is there's just so much removal in Standard at the moment, or at least in the play queue. Maybe it's a bit different in the ranked queue because people play more, not proper decks, but you know, people play the same deck so you can prepare for it. But I was playing against decks with the cut down and go for the throat and Sheoldred's Edict, and there was one, it was Black Sun Twilight, all in the same deck, and you're like, well, for a creature based deck you just can't really do anything against that. So yeah, I do like Lifegain when rotation happens and we get some more Lifegain payoffs. As I said, in the deck tech there is a new card that puts counters on itself every time you gain life. I'll definitely try it again, but yeah, I think just the removal in standard at the moment, there's just too much of it, so not that powerful. But I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.